everyone, welcome to Pabbly. Now imagine someone just fill out your website form and instead of manually tracking it, their details are instantly logged in the Google Sheet and a task is automatically created in Asana. So no more missed leads and no more extra work. So in today's video, I will show you how to automate this process of adding the data to the Google Sheet of the website form and creating a task in Asana step by step using Pabbly Connect. So every lead is captured, organized and ready for the action. So let's dive in and set it up. But before that, I'm going to show you the real working of this automation which I have already built in. So for testing this automation, let's move on to my website form. So here you can see this is my website form and now I'm going to fill this form providing my full name as smart user, email as smartuser@pabblytudes.com and my phone number. Now let's submit this form and here you can see my form has been successfully submitted. Now let's move on to my Google Sheet to check whether the data is saved over there or not. So here you can see spreadsheet where I'm going to save the data named as website form leads, and here I'm getting three fields, that is full name, email and the phone number, and here I'm getting the same name, that is smart user, email smartuser@pabblytudes.com and my phone number as well. So this shows that the first step of the automation is working properly. Now let's move on to my Asana account to check whether a task is created over there or not. So here you can see in my Asana account, I am successfully receiving this task that is having the same name which I have recently entered over my website form, that is smart user, and here I am getting the details of this lead, that is name smart user, email smartuser@pabblytudes.com and the phone number as well. So now you can see that the automation which I have already built in is successfully working. So now I am going to show you how you can create this amazing automation for scaling up your own business. So for that you have to access Pabbly Connect, and for accessing the Pabbly Connect you just have to type its URL over the new tab, that is pabbly.com/connect, and once you will enter the URL you will be getting the landing page of Pabbly, and here you can see we are getting two options, that is sign in and sign up free. So if you are a new user you can simply click over the sign up free, but if you are an existing user you can simply click over the sign in, and if you sign up your account for free over the Pabbly Connect you get 100 free tasks every month for practicing Pabbly Connect. But before moving on forward, I'm going to tell you about Pabbly Community. So here you can see this is the page of Pabbly Community where automation users, marketers and business owners gather to share their ideas, ask questions and get relevant updates regarding using the Pabbly applications. So you can also join Pabbly Community now and grow your business with us, and if you wish to join the Pabbly Community you can find link in the description given below. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect again, and here I'm going to simply click over this sign in. And once you finish your sign up you will be getting this all Pabbly apps page where you can see these are the products provided by Pabbly, and as we are going to integrate some applications we will be using this Pabbly Connect app which can integrate different applications and start automating your work. So for that you simply have to click over this access now button and we will be landed to the dashboard page of Pabbly Connect which can be seen here, and on this dashboard page you can see these are the folders I have created, and inside these folders I have created many workflows by integrating different applications. So if you also want to create your own folder you simply have to click over this create a new folder button, and you will be getting this dialog box where you have to provide the folder name, and if you want you can even select the parent folder as well, and afterwards you just have to click over this create button and your folder will be created. And now I am going to create a workflow. So for that you simply have to click over this create workflow button, and here you will be getting this dialog box for selecting the workflow builder. So here we are getting two workflow builder, that is beta which is modern, faster and more flexible, and another workflow builder we are getting is classic which will provide you stable and familiar approach. So here I'm going to use this newly launched workflow builder beta. So for that you simply have to click over this select button and you will be getting this dialog box where you have to provide the workflow name. So now let's provide a name to my workflow here. So here I am providing the name log website leads in sheets and create Asana task. Now I am going to select my folder as automation. Now let's click over this create button, and here you can see we are receiving this pop-up and we are successfully landed to a workflow page where you can observe this option of adding the trigger. Now you might be thinking what is this trigger? So trigger is our first application or the application which is going to initiate a workflow. So in this case I want to initiate my workflow as soon as I receive a new lead over my website form. form. So for connecting my website form with the Pabbly Connect, I'm going to use an amazing application provided by Pabbly, that is Webhook by Pabbly. So for adding a trigger app, we just have to click over this add trigger button, and here we are landed to this trigger setup page where I'm going to select my trigger app as Webhook by Pabbly. Now let's select our app event over here, that is Catch Webhook. Now let's click over this connect button, and here we are receiving this Webhook URL. So this Webhook URL is going to act as a bridge between website form and Pabbly Connect for building the connection. So now I'm going to paste this Webhook URL in the code of my website form which I have created for this particular form. So now let's move on to my code and paste this Webhook URL for building the connection. So here you can see this is the code of my website form, where after this word fetch I have added a dummy URL. So now I am going to replace this dummy URL with the Webhook URL which I have recently received from a Pabbly Connect so that I can build the connection. So here I have provided this URL, and now let's save this Webhook URL over our code. So for that, let's move on to file and click over this save button, and here our Webhook URL is successfully saved. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect again, and here you can see it is waiting for the Webhook response. So for providing the Webhook response, we have to do the test submission, and for doing the test submission we have to fill our website form. So now let's move on to my website form and fill it again. And now let me firstly refresh this, and afterwards I am going to fill this form providing full name as demo user, email demoUser@pabblytuts.com, and the phone number. Now let's submit this form, and here our form has been successfully submitted. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect to check whether we are receiving the response over there or not. So here you can see in my Pabbly Connect, I am successfully receiving this response, that is response A, with all the fields which I have recently entered over my website form. So this shows that we have successfully added our trigger app, and now I am going to add these details to the Google Sheet. So for that we have to add our action app, and you have to remember that you can have only one trigger app but you can have many action applications. So here we are going to add our 2 action applications. So now let's firstly add the Google Sheet by selecting this add new action step button, and here I'm going to select my action app as Google Sheet and the app event as add new row. Now let's click over this connect button, and here we are landed to this connection page where if you want to build a new connection you have to sign up with your Google account, but I'm going to use my existing connection, so I will be simply selecting this save button, and here our connection has been saved successfully and we are getting some of the fields. So the first field we are getting for selecting the spreadsheet, which is already selected as website form leads, and this is the spreadsheet where I'm going to save the data, and afterwards we are getting some of the fields. So now you might be thinking that I'm going to fill all these fields manually, but no, I'm going to perform mapping for filling these fields. Now you might be thinking, what is this mapping? So mapping is basically inserting the data from the previous step so that you don't have to enter your values again and again, as mapping makes the field dynamic. So here I'm going to map all these fields from the response which I'm receiving from Webhook by Pabbly, as this is my previous step, and the process of mapping is simple. You just have to select the field which you want to map, and from here you have to select the application which contains the details. So here I'm going to map the full name from the response which I'm receiving from Webhook by Pabbly. So here I'm going to map my full name, and in the same way I'm going to map my email, and at last I'm going to map my phone number also. So here I have mapped all these details. Now let's click over the save and send test request, and here you can see we are receiving a positive response which demonstrate that we might have built in the connection. So for checking it, let's move on to my Google Sheet with me. So here you can see in my Google Sheet I am successfully receiving the lead which I have recently filled over my website form. So now you can see that the first step of our automation is working properly. Now let's add one more action app, that is creating task in Asana. So now let's click over this button again, and here I'm going to search for the Asana to add it as my action application. So here I'm going to select this application, and afterwards I'm going to select my app event as create a task. Now let's click over this connect button, and if you want to use your already built-in connection, then you can use your existing connection, and if you want to build your new connection, then follow the steps which I'm going to show you. So you just have to select this add new connection button, and here you will be getting a new connection name. Now you just have to click over this connect with Asana, and here our connection has been created successfully, and we are getting some of the fields again. So the first field we are getting for selecting the workspace. So from this drop down you can select your workspace, and now we are getting this option for selecting the project ID. So here I'm I'm going to select my this project ID, and afterwards we are getting this option for entering the task name. So now let's enter our task name over here. So here I have entered this word for the task name, and after this word new lead, I'm going to map the name of my lead received. So here I have provided the task name, and this field will be dynamic, means this is going to change with every new lead received from your website form. Now on this field, that is notes, I'm going to add the details of my lead. So on the notes, I'm going to enter this text, and after this word name, I'm going to map the name of my lead, and here on the email, I'm going to map the email, and here after this word phone, I'm going to map the phone number as well. So here I'm done with the notes of my Asana task also, and here we are getting some of the fields which are not necessary, so I will be simply selecting the save and send test request button, and here you can see we are receiving a positive response which demonstrate that a task might be created in our Asana account. So for checking it, let's move on to my Asana account with me. So on my Asana account, you can see I'm successfully receiving this new lead or the new task which I have recently created over my Pabbly Connect, that is having the task name new lead demo user, and here you can observe that I'm getting the same name which I have recently entered over my website form, and here I'm getting my leads details with the same informations I have entered over my website form. So now you can see that how easily I have built in this amazing automation within few minutes without even a single word coding. So you can also create an amazing automation like this, which is going to save the details of your leads and even create tasks in Asana. So what are you waiting for? Start using Pabbly Connect now and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for learning more about Pabbly and creating many more amazing automations and integrations like this. And if this video is really helpful, then hit the like and subscribe button, and I have added the link of the workflow which I have recently created in the description box, so make sure to check it out. So thank you for watching this video. Not only this automation, you can build many more integrations like this by just using Pabbly Connect. So if you have any doubt, you can mail us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, you can post it over the forums.pabbly.com, and if you have any pricing related issue, then you can visit the URL given over here. So start using Pabbly Connect for free now.